Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Google MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio, Michael Bullock, and Dee Dee Woodson. Yes, the crew is all here. Big night tonight, y'all. First off, we got Smackdown live. We're gonna recap that, and then we're gonna set the table for Sunday night's WWE special event Backlash, as that will go down on the WWE Network, also live on pay-per-view. And that's really it for the night. I was thinking about doing some New Japan stuff, but I don't know if I don't think they're back tonight. I think they might be back next week. But whatever the case may be, we got a lot to talk about. So we're gonna dive right in. We're gonna start it off, and the first thing that we had was a promo segment. Jeff Hardy interrupted by Sheamus. Um, Sheamus basically is still on Jeff Hardy about what happened to him a couple of weeks ago, about the drunken stupor, as you can say, him getting himself in trouble with the law, the whole 9 yards. Then basically Sheamus, well, he basically he asked him to take a piss test. Basically told him, pee in the cup. Basically, we're gonna check to see if your blood alcohol level in the whole 9 yards. See if if you're on drugs, if you're on whatever. Well, I guess the old saying is it's better to be pissed off than pissed on, because that piss went all over the Celtic Warrior tonight. Yeah. That was a funny ha moment. But quite frankly, yeah, I think a lot of people kind of got a little like, oh, what the hell, WWE? That was a kind of a little bit of a stupid segment. How dare you? You kind of went a little overboard on this. But you know what? I don't give a damn. Sheamus was talking a whole bunch of junk. He was causing a whole bunch of trouble, and he got what he deserved. I don't give a damn about the moral correctness of the segment at all. If you're looking for morality, you ain't gonna find it with me. So I thought this was absolutely fine. I know a lot of people were not happy with the segment, and to each his own. But as far as lines being crossed and whatever, yeah, Sheamus was going there on Jeff Hardy, and Hardy just had enough of it and just, well, threw it at Sheamus. I mean, you want to, whatever you want to call it, you can say whatever, but it happened. It was there. There's nothing for me to add. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Well, I'll tell you, MF, you're absolutely right. Um, Good way to start here. Given the absolutely ridiculous, over the top nature of this feud to this point, this was a relatively subdued angle. It Hardy getting the best of Sheamus here would seem to suggest the Celtic Warrior goes over Sunday night at Backlash. Given how bulletproof Hardy's character and credibility are at this point, that is probably the right outcome if there are any plans for Sheamus to return to the main event scene anytime soon. So, good way to start off here. But there is one thing that I want to put out there, and that is um, a young lady who we are all big fans of on YouTube, Luigi PS3. She did we got her reaction to this, and when she saw the spot, if you know what I mean, you should have seen her, man. Oh my gosh, she absolutely lost her mind. It was so funny. I mean, you got to look at the Luge video, man. I'll link it in our private chat so you guys can see it after. I mean, oh man, you should have seen what Luge did during that spot. It was hysterical. So just wanted to put that out there. Big shout out to Luge, by the way. So yeah, nothing really more to say. Michael Bullock, come on in. So that happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was fine as well. I mean, I know, like you said, a lot of people were probably uh, not too happy about it, but you know what? I don't care. I mean, hey, Sheamus wanted to make this personal. Well, let's just say a big fella got exactly what he deserved. And there's an old saying, guys, it's better to be pissed off than pissed on. Well, in this case, Sheamus just did get pissed on, and yeah, hey, he wanted to make this personal. Jeff Hardy said you made this personal. Now payback is coming, and he got it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when these two face up on Sunday. So nothing more to say, DD Woodson, it's yours.
Blown up.
Yeah, this segment actually, I guess you could say, was leaked earlier this week that this was going to happen. I don't know how they found out about it, but it was leaked earlier this week. And the biggest thing it reminds me of, and I'm sure you three will remember this, was the poop falling from the ceiling segment.
Degeneration X on the McMahons
And the Spirit Squad.
and the
Yep.
Spirit Squad too.
Yep.
Oh.
So really, this is not much different from that. So I mean, this definitely falls into a Vince McMahon special here because he's known for doing the gross. And if you don't like gross, then you just might as well not watch WWE because I mean, we get something gross every so often. I mean, look at the dog food thing we had just recently. Um, I could even go a little bit worse with which I'm sure all three of you will be grabbing a certain area when I say the battery chargers on Shane McMahon.
Oh.
This,
Yeah, we kind of. I felt bad for Shane because he kind of lost a couple of generations of
yeah.
McMahons because of that. I must
So
say.
so yeah, I mean this is right up Vince's alley. So I mean I can't say this is anything horrible. This is anything really bad because he's known for doing this. And now that we have Bruce Pritchard in charge, we're probably going to see more of this kind of crap. So yeah, not a whole lot. I'm going to say, it was fun to open up the show with, but not a surprise because I had already seen a YouTube video talking about it earlier this in the week. So yeah, not much more I'm going to talk about. It's yours, Fletch.
All right, and with that said, we're gonna get right into the first fight of the night. The Smackdown Tag Team Champions, the New Day, Big E and Kofi goes up against Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. The winners of the bout, 7 minutes and 25 seconds, was Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura getting the win. Anthony Florio, I think we got ourselves a championship committee moment.
Indeed, we do, and that there is no question about it. This was indeed a championship committee moment. Shinsuke Nakamura getting the fall on Kofi Kingston. That that means we're going to get a SmackDown Tag Team Championship match with the New Day against Cesaro and Nakamura, and I'm all for that. Absolutely all for that. No doubt about it. 2.5 to 3 stars, I believe, is the correct rating for this. It should have been so much better, but it was hurt significantly by the commercial break sandwiched right in the middle of it. There was no real heat segment, nor was there much in the way of a babyface comeback. It was action early, action late, and nothing to string any of it together. The result was a mostly disappointing finished product, for sure, with the silver lining hopefully being the title match the last couple of weeks of booking has been hinting at. So, solid, not overly spectacular. But the title match, though, whenever they do it, maybe they add it to the Backlash show, or maybe they do it on a future SmackDown. I don't know. We'll see. But I got a good feeling about that one. So I'm going to give it about 2.5, maybe 3 for the effort. That's the best I can do. So nothing more to say. Bullock, Championship Committee moment right here. Cesaro and Nakamura. Looks like they're going to be the next tag team title contenders.
Yeah, I believe so too. I mean, after this win, so 2.5 stars for me. I mean, I think it could have been much better, but it was fine for what it was. So not really more I'm going to say on it. So I'm just going to give it to Dee Woodson.
Yeah, I'll agree with the rating. I mean, it was a fairly good match, but yeah, the commercial breaks kind of broke things up a little bit. So yeah, I don't have much more to add. It's yours, Fletch.
Solid match, 2.5 stars. Very good main event, no doubt about it. You can say this was a pretty easy fight to talk about. This was, look, I think we were gonna expect a championship committee moment when it happened. It was a good fight. It was solid, but I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. So then we had a backstage segment with Heavy Machinery. Then, guys, here it is, the big one, the moment that we all were waiting for. Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles, the Intercontinental title on the line. The winner of the bout in 38 minutes, 10 seconds, and the new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, the phenomenal AJ Styles. He wins the title here tonight. Michael Bullock, you, my friend, lead off. History was made. AJ Styles has won the gold. He is the champ that runs the camp in the Intercontinental Division on Smackdown Live.
Boy, what a match it was. I mean, so much hype was built into this, and it lived up to it. Am I going to give it 5 stars? I'm sorry to disappoint some people. I don't know how you guys are going to feel about it, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm only going to give it 4.5 stars. I mean, the match was pretty awesome. No doubt about it. My only issue is the commercial breaks. We had 4 of them. I mean, a match like this on a pay-per-view, you would get 5 easily. But because of all the commercial breaks that we had during this match, I can only give this 4.5 stars. I mean, I know there's going to be some people that are going to look at me like, "What? You're not going to give it 5?" Like I just said, if this was on a pay-per-view, it's like a Backlash, I'd say 5 very easily. But in this case, because it was on SmackDown, it's only 4.5 stars for me. I mean, great effort by both men, and obviously this was the right move to put the title on AJ Styles. I think this is his first Intercontinental Championship, because I know he's won the WWE Championship.
He's a Triple Crown champion now. He's won the WWE Championship. He's won the Intercontinental title. He's won the United States Championship. The only title he has not captured yet is the Universal Championship.
Yeah, so...
Or a tag title for that.
Or a tag title.
Yeah, so now he's a Triple Crown champion. So, yeah, so... It's going to be interesting to see how long he holds this title. I mean, especially since when he was on Monday Night Raw, you saw that he was looking at the previews of the Undertaker Last Ride segment, and I still got a feeling that we're going to get a rematch between these two at some point down the line. Could be SummerSlam, So I don't think he's going to have the title. I mean, he's going to have it for a while. But I think at some point when we get near SummerSlam, I think he's going to drop the belt. That's just my personal opinion. So 4.5 stars. I could give it 5, but like I said, the 4 commercial breaks I think just killed the momentum. D.D. Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, definitely 4.5 stars. I mean, this match had everything going for it. It was very technical. These guys went far and beyond what you would have really expected for a SmackDown match. This was definitely a pay-per-view quality match, but commercials kill momentum, and it just as we get into that climax, there's a commercial, and then everything's just kind of you get back into it, and you're trying to build back into it, and then boom, there's another commercial. Well, this definitely way too many breaks, and it hurt it, but still the guys did a great job. Just Fox needs and WWE needs to cut down on breaks, or they need to put this kind of match on a pay-per-view where there's not breaks. If you're going to do a match like this, let's do it where you have limited commercial interruptions or something. I mean, just something that will keep the fans interested, because the breaks just kill it. So it's your Sledge.
This is where the side-by-side should have came into play. This is where the side-by-side, like they used to do on SmackDown on USA, this would have been the perfect moment. If you want to do the commercial breaks, that's fine, but you should have done side-by-side. If you did that, because I know Fox has been known to do side-by-side commercials to break into their coverage. They can do it. It is possible. Or even put some advertising at the bottom of the screen, that not to distract from the fight. This was 4.5, 4 3/4. This, if there was limited commercial breaks or no breaks at all, this was straight 5. Like, it would have been instant 5. There's no doubt about it. But I totally agree with everything you guys said. We knew this was good. We heard that this was a great fight. We heard this was an amazing match. And it lived up to the hype. The only gripe we have is that the commercial breaks really destroyed this fight. Because if it would have been, again, with limited commercial interruptions, a side-by-side, or no commercial breaks at all, this would have been a straight 5. Like, without a doubt. This is SmackDown's fight of the year right now. Like, I'm gonna call it right now. Regardless of the commercial breaks, regardless of anything, this is SmackDown's fight of the year. AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan for the Intercontinental Championship. Good luck to anybody to try to top that fight. And hell, I'll even go one further. Good luck to Edge and Randy Orton to try to top this on Sunday night. Because I don't know if you guys are going to be able to pull that off. So, without a doubt, this was an incredible match. 4.5 to 4 3/4. It doesn't get the 5-star rating, but it had the making of it. It had the feeling of it. It had all the criteria for 5 stars. But the commercials alone brought it down. It's 4.5 to 4 3/4. Anthony, it's yours.
And I'm going to throw one more little nitpick at this. Why wasn't this the main event? That's all I have to ask. Why wasn't this the main event? It should have been. But anyways, I'm with you all. 4.5 to 4 3/4. Even though the Professor Mark in me wants to pull the trigger and give it the full 5, because I went on the record and I said that this match had the potential to be this generation's Savage and Steamboat, and that's exactly what this was. What else do I have to say? I mean, in MF, it's only fitting that that I take this last here, because MF, what is the one title other than the World Heavyweight Championship? What is the one title that I have preached on and have had universal praise for since we've known each other?
The Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship.
You damn right. I am trying to get that's my next belt purchase because I already have two. I got the old WWF Winged Heavyweight Championship belt. I got the World Heavyweight Championship belt. I mean, that alone is the best, hands down, the most prized purchase for me because of my love for the World Heavyweight Championship. But WWE.com doesn't have it in stock yet. But when it does come back in stock, you better believe I'm going to go for that old school Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship that has been held by the likes of Randy Macho Man Savage, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Bret the Hitman Hart, Tito Santana, Mr. Perfect, The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, Razor. I mean, you could go right on down the line. Don Morocco, Pedro Morales, the first champion, Pat Patterson, in 1979. I mean, for the first time in a very long time, folks, we witnessed something. We witnessed a match that was worthy of the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. It ranks up there. Ranks up there with Savage and Steamboat from WrestleMania 3. Ranks up there with Bret and the Bold with Bret Hart and the British Bulldog from SummerSlam 92. I mean, and those epic ladder matches with Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon, Triple H and The Rock. I mean, I could go on and on, but this was a near flawless representation of the sport of professional wrestling. It was scientific, it was physical, it was smart, and it told a story throughout. Both men sought to exploit a weakness of their opponent, and in the end, it was an ill-fated attempt at his finisher by Bryan that Styles was able to capitalize on and score the win off of. Styles winning the title was an interesting choice, if only because he instantly elevates it above the Universal Championship held by Braun Strowman, who is busy with a comedic rivalry ahead of Sunday's B pay-per-view Backlash. The phenomenal one-star is brighter, his consistency is nearly unmatched, and his credibility amongst us fans is greater than Strowman's. Don't sleep on the possibility that Styles makes the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship the most coveted title on the Blue brand. This match not only gave fans of the in-ring aspect of the industry a match they could really invest themselves in, but it also introduced broadcast television to the athleticism and technique of wrestling. It was wholly unlike anything else the Blue brand has brought the Fox audience, and it should be interesting to see how it fares in the ratings. If it excels, do not be surprised to see Friday nights implement a more in-ring based product. And with me and with my love for technical wrestling, this was indeed a masterclass, and I was invested the whole way through, and I, for one, could not be any more prouder of two men who I have immense respect for and immense appreciation for. The phenomenal AJ Styles, the heart and soul of my avatar, the Fortune 4, and of course, Daniel Bryan, because of his underdog story. So we thank you. We appreciate the efforts of both of you gentlemen. And all I can say is, oh man, let's do it again. That's all I can say. I mean, now who's going to be next? Does Bryan get a rematch? Will Elias get an opportunity?
Well, technically, I mean, you could even make an argument for Drew Gulak. Because remember, Drew Gulak beat AJ Styles about a week ago, last week in a major upset. So I think Drew Gulak, now I would think what happened last week becomes an instant championship committee moment.
Indeed.
Now I think Drew Gulak might have a gripe and say, hey, I beat you for the belt. Why don't you put the belt up against me? Defend your title now that you're IC champ, why don't you put the belt up against me?
Indeed. So, but I think we can all agree on this. I think all four of us can agree when I ask us all this. This match tonight, would you say that this was the most that this match tonight, would you say was the most worthy of the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship? And if so, how long has it been since we've seen a match worthy of the caliber of this title?
Man, it's been almost maybe 10 years? At least 10 years where we had an Intercontinental title fight like this. Like I said, this is SmackDown's fight of the year.
Amen.
I mean, I'm not even gonna. You don't even need to say anything about it. I'll even go as far to say this has been the best fight on Fox. The best match Fox has ever had. And on top of that, it is definitely SmackDown's fight of the year. So, I mean, say what you want about it. And we heard that this fight was epic. We heard this fight was great. And sure enough, not only did it exceed the expectation, but like we said, if it wasn't because of the commercial breaks, this would have been a 5-star classic, and that's the biggest takeaway from this match.
Indeed, and it's almost the exact same thing we saw Monday night when Charlotte Flair and Asuka. Look what they did. I mean, but it wasn't commercial breaks that killed it. It was Nia Jax.
It was Nia Jax that killed it, yeah.
And if it wasn't for that, that would have been 5.
You know what? I'm going to say it like this. Role reverse it. Because that's the thing. Here's the funny thing. If this would have been on Monday Night Raw, if AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan, the Intercontinental fight, if the Intercontinental title fight was on Raw, and we got that ending, that's an instant 5 stars.
Absolutely.
That would have been an instant 5 stars. Because it was a limited commercials.
Yep.
And we had an actual finish.
No BS interference, nothing.
Dude, no. That would have been an instant 5-star classic right there. We would have gotten 5. If this would have gone down on Raw, that got the 5. It would get 5. Instant.
Or pay-per-view.
Or pay-per-view. Oh, forget it. If it was pay-per-view, I would be yelling Meltzer 6.
Yep.
It would be the Meltzer 6. So.
Oh, but I'll tell you what though, MF. I mean, both of our shows had our TV fights of the year this week.
Yes.
I was blessed by the efforts of Asuka and Charlotte Monday night on Raw, as we all were. And then tonight, MF, it was your turn, and you got Bryan and AJ. And normally when we read dirt sheets, we say, "Oh, who cares? Who cares?" This is one time they actually got it right. They said it was a blowaway match, and sure enough, it was 38 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yep.
Wow. But I wish Fox would do the split screen. I wish they would do the split screen like they used to do on the USA Network. Raw does it once in a while. NXT does it once in a while. AEW does it almost all the time.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, though, MF and everybody, 4.5 to 4 3/4, and at least for tonight, for the first time in quite some time, the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship was prestigious for the first time in forever and a day. And AJ, if anybody can bring credibility and prestige back to that belt, MF, you got the perfect man for the job, the face that runs the place. Let's go.
Then we had a in-ring segment with Sasha Banks and Bayley, interrupted by Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, and by the Iconics as well. Dee, what's in? I'll let you lead off. It's yours.
Yeah, this was good for building the match. That's about all I'll say about it. It was good for the fact that we are building the match that these girls are going to have at the pay-per-view. Otherwise, I didn't really see much of a reason to have this other than, it's all hell Bayley and Sasha hour. But it was still good because you got to see, the other two competitors at least have some say, have have a chance to show why they are going up for this tag team title. So I'd like to see more building going on for the tag match. I kind of feel like they're dropping the ball with the women's tags. They're not promoting it and pushing it like they do the guys. But then again, they say Vince don't like tag teams, so. And apparently he doesn't like a lot of women's matches, since half the time the women's matches keep kind of going back into the old school stuff. But then every once in a while you have something really good like we've had in the past. So we'll have to see what happens with this one. So not much more I'm going to add. I mean, this was not my favorite segment in the world. But hey, storyline building, I'll give it credit for that. So it's yours, Fletch.
Like you said, it was more storyline building than anything else. It actually told a story. It actually gives us a little incentive to watch the women's tag team title fight that goes down this Sunday night at Backlash, and we're going to get into the match itself later on the show tonight. And yeah, no, it was solid for what it was worth. It was there. Really nothing too crazy. Anthony, it's yours.
And this is why and here's why I feel that Bryan and Styles should have been the main event of this show, because this and the main event of this show tonight, no way they could have followed this. And here's living proof. I mean, I understand you wanted to go for the cool down moment. I understand that, but trifle unnecessary in my book. Total waste of time. Accomplished nothing. Certainly did not make one want to see Sunday's triple threat match any more or less than it had before. Bullock, move on.
Yeah, I agree with Anthony. I mean, this is why Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles should have main evented SmackDown. I mean, I understand you're trying to have a cool down, but what we saw at the end, there was no way they were going to be able to top this. This was terrible WWE booking as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it was a total waste of time as far as I'm concerned. And I'm going to end it like this, as you guys know, my hatred for Bayley and Sasha because of their cockiness and their attitude. Bayley and Sasha, shut the hell up. Move on.
All right, and with that said, we will move on to the main event of the evening. It was the six-man tag. It was WWE Universal Champion Braun Strowman and Heavy Machinery. They go up against The Miz, John Morrison, and Dolph Ziggler. The winners of the bout in 11 minutes and 10 seconds was the face team of Braun Strowman, Otis, and Tucker. Alright, I mean, it was a solid match. It was an okay main event, and I get it. I think a lot of people were, like you said, I think they could have rearranged the fight card here a little bit, but I get it. I understand. The Universal Champion is Braun Strowman. Obviously, you want him to be, he's the face of SmackDown Live right now. He is the face, because when you're the Universal Champion, you're the top guy. He deserves the top billing. Even though I think this time around on the fight card, he probably won't be main eventing when he fights Miz and Morrison at Backlash, and we'll get into that in a little bit. I think right now is that there's a lot of angles that they're teasing. For one, they're teasing the fact that you got Braun, he's going up against Miz and Morrison. Two, you also got to think in the back of the mind is that the Money in the Bank is in play. And Otis kind of was looking at that belt, looking at that Universal title. And I know the first time around when Little Miss Mandy Rose showed up a few weeks back, And you saw Otis kind of gave that look like, maybe this is an opportunity. Maybe I got a shot here to get one up on the champ. Before Braun turned around and then he's like, you know what? Nah, man. I was just playing with you. I was just busting. Ha ha. It was a joke. Don't worry, man. I'm not. We're boys. We're cool. We're cool. Trust me. There are no friends when you got the money in the bank. There are no friends when a title, and it's the title that's there. Trust me. Everybody knows, and everybody knows the success rate of Money in the Bank. Over 85% who's gone on to cash in the Money in the Bank has gone on to win the championship. Only 4 has failed in their Money in the Bank cash-in attempts. Only 4 in the history of Money in the Bank has failed.
And Fletch, you and I were there for one of the failures.
And we were there for one of the failures. Very, very true. Very assertive, Mr. Bullock. Yes. Baron Corbin, when he tried to cash in on Jinder Mahal for the WWE title in Providence, Rhode Island, failed. As he got rolled up in less than 10 seconds. So, yeah. No doubt about it. I'll give this about 3 stars for the main event. This is an okay fight. It did get some storyline progression. There are some wrinkles going into Backlash, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anthony, it's yours.
Yep. 3 stars, I agree. While it is nice to see WWE firmly invested in pushing a fresh new face, it is risking overexposing Otis. He has more TV time and has been featured more prominently than Strowman, the Universal Champion, and the top man on Smackdown. As is typically the case, Vince McMahon found a guy he liked and is not wasting time, shoving him down the throat to the audience. While that works when there are no fans but paid employees in the stands, audiences will eventually dictate whether he is being overused so early in his run. With all that said, this still failed miserably to create even the slightest bit of interest in Strowman versus Miz and Morrison, making that particular match one of the weakest title matches in recent WWE history. Nothing more to say. I'll give it 3 stars for the effort, but nothing more to say. Let's move on.
Bullock?
Oh yeah, Bullock, your thoughts? Bullock, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I just hit something accidentally. So yeah, 3 stars. I agree with everything you guys have said. So I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm just going to give it to Dee Woodson.
I said it in the group chat. I'll say it here. What the heck did we have in the middle of this match? Because that really took away from the match. I mean, this was horrible. I mean, yeah, the best team, I guess, won, but still, we didn't need to have Corbin coming out in the middle of this match, hitting on Mandy Rose, trying to get Otis out of the match. It just really, just went too far. I mean, that's just something we don't need. It's something that doesn't need to be even addressed. Yeah, it was continuing from something that happened last week, but you could have done that in a segment in between matches. You didn't need to do it in the middle of the match. That was just stupid. So, as far as the rating, I agree with you guys. I got my little gripe out, so let's just move on.
All right, no problem. Now it's over. Now it's time for the overall review. So, Anthony Florio, you lead off.
Our final thought. This was a show anchored and carried by one match: AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. Even that had issues in its own right, with 4 commercial breaks disrupting the flow and capping its excitement. Even though SmackDown's been putting on some good shows lately, they do have a struggle, and that is they're struggling greatly in terms of roster depth. And their portion of Sunday's Backlash card leaves plenty to be desired. Backlash as a whole is one of the weaker pay-per-view cards that WWE has put together in quite some time. I left this show tonight feeling more interested by what's to come for AJ Styles' Intercontinental title run and Daniel Bryan's next program than anything they set up or built to for Sunday. So that's really all I can say on that. So, but I could probably give this maybe a solid. If I were to give it a rating, I might have given this a 7, mainly because of Bryan and AJ alone. You take that away, it's a lot lower. This would have been one of the weaker shows in a while. So, but Bryan and AJ, they carried this show tonight. There's no doubt about that. They stole the dang show. Should have been the main event. That's just all I can say. Not the Bayley and Sasha nonsense in the main event did not follow that at all. So, nothing more to say. I've said my piece. So, Bullock, your final thought.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing good that came out of this show was obviously the Intercontinental title match. I mean, that's the only good that came out of this. Everything else, ugh. Yeah, I mean, if I recommend anything when it comes to this show, the Intercontinental title match. That's it. Everything else, you can just pretty much fast forward through it if you had a DVR. So, nothing more to say. D.D. Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, there wasn't much build up for the pay per view in this show. You know, it was mainly centered around the Intercontinental title. You know, they only really addressed, I guess you'd say, the pay per view like maybe in 3 different parts of it. They didn't even run down the card. You know, usually when you're doing a go home show, you run down the card for the pay per view. They didn't even do that tonight. This was just, as far as a go home show would go, I would give it an F. But it still was at least a half decent show, so I'm going to agree with Florio. I'm going to give it a 7. But there is a lot to be worked on and a lot to be desirable with this show. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt if you haven't seen it yet, because it's out there. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, I totally agree. 7. I agree with if we were doing an actual rating, it would be a 7 out of 10. It was all right for what it was worth. I don't think it was really too crazy or too wild. I think we all kind of agree. We were hoping and wishing that it would be a lot more better, but it served its purpose. It was fine for what it was worth. But I mean, they got a lot to work on, at least for SmackDown. But the Intercontinental title fight, Anthony, you alluded to it. On Raw, we had an epic fight between Charlotte and Asuka. On SmackDown, AJ and Daniel absolutely tore the house down. Again, if that fight was on Raw or that fight's on pay-per-view, it's 5-star easy. There's really nothing more to add. Let's go right into it. We're going to start it off, guys. We're going to recap it. We're going to reset. And we're going to start the Backlash preview. And we're going to start with Apollo Crews putting the United States title on the line against Andrade. I'm going to be real honest with you. Apollo won the belt. He won it fair and square. He did a great job beating Andrade not too long ago. I think we're going to start seeing a little bit of dissension among the ranks here between Andrade and Zelina. I think you saw a little bit of it, especially after Monday night when Zelina kind of took one in the face and got hurt, and Andrade and Angel Garza kind of went at it. So I could see a little bit of a mini implosion again I think Apollo Crews finds a way to get the job done and keep the belt. So my prediction is the winner and still United States champion, Apollo Crews. Anthony Florio, I give it to you.
I agree. Andrade is burgeoning into one of the company's top stars and would certainly be a well-deserving U.S. champion. But he just saw his long reign, which featured few title defenses, come to an end at the hands of Apollo Crews a few weeks ago. It would make little sense to pull the title off of Crews so quickly, especially considering it is helping him get over with the fans with a long-awaited push that has taken years to actually come to fruition. Leave the mid-card rocket strapped to Crews for now, and either elevate Andrade into the upper card or give him a run alongside Angel Garza in the tag team picture. We'll have to wait and see. But I do agree with MF. Winner and still United States Heavyweight Champion, Apollo Crews. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, we're going to make it 3 for 3?
Yes, I'm going to make it 3 for 3. I'm going to go with Apollo Crews to retain the United States Championship. I mean, he had just won it. I think it's too soon to take it off of him. And plus, like you said, I mean, there's some dissension in the ranks with Angel Garza and Andrade, and I think we're going to see a little bit of that in this match here. So I think Apollo Crews will definitely take advantage of it. So winner and still United States Champion, Apollo Crews. Dee Woodson, it is yours.
I'm going to make it unanimous, so let's move on.
All right, and then we're going to go to the WWE Women's Tag Team title fight, as it will be Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus the Ikonics. Anthony, lead off.
As much as I would love to personally see the Ikonics bring the women's tag team titles back to Raw, I'm afraid that's not going to happen. If WWE is ready to pull the trigger on the Bayley and Sasha feud heading into the summer, they should drop the titles to the Iconics. I just don't get the feeling they're ready to go all in yet. Instead, the titles offer an ability to continue building the feud. In their title win, Banks had to save the team when Bayley tried to steal the spotlight to score the win. Having Sasha continue to pull the team back from the brink of a loss for a few months will play well into the realization that she is the one carrying the team and the one who should be carrying the SmackDown Women's Championship. So that's really all I can say on that. So, of course, like I said, I want the Iconics to win. I want to have the women's tag team titles exclusive to Raw, but for right now, it's gonna stay on Team Blue. Besides, they have a 66% chance of winning anyway because you got Bayley and Sasha SmackDown, and you got Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross SmackDown. So I don't like Raw's chances in this case. So winners and still women's tag team champions, Bayley and Sasha Banks. Nothing more to say. Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you. I got to go with Bayley and Sasha Banks to retain the women's tag team championships. I mean, they're going to lose it somewhere down the line. I mean, basically, with if you want to have that rumored breakup with Bayley and Sasha, I mean, somewhere down the line, Sasha's going to be like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of you bossing me around and trying to hog the spotlight from everyone. So it is going to happen. The breakup's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. So the winners and still women's tag team champions, Bayley and Sasha Banks. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree with that one. It's too early to pull it off of them right now, so it's yours, Clutch.
And I totally will go into unanimous decision mode here. I'm going to go with Bayley and Sasha Banks to successfully defend the titles as well. One of the lone. There's a couple of fights that have no titles on the line. This is one of them. Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. Michael Bullock, you lead off.
Yeah, this has become a personal feud between these two. The back and forth, obviously, with what happened last week with Jeff Hardy getting arrested for DUI, and obviously what we saw tonight. So Yeah, to me, I'm going to go with Jeff Hardy to win. I mean, Sheamus has been dominating on SmackDown, and eventually he's going to have to lose in a big match. So I think this is where it's going to happen. So the winner, to me, is going to be Jeff Hardy. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think this will be Jeff's chance to overcome his demons. So yeah, not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
You know what? I am not gonna disagree here. I think a lot of people would love to see Jeff Hardy win the match just to shut Sheamus up once and for all. And I just don't see how he does it. I think a lot of people would love to see him win the match, which would be pretty awesome. And I really got nothing more to add. So, Anthony, I give it to you. I'm going to go with Jeff Hardy as well to win the match.
I'm going lone wolf here. I'm going Sheamus. And here's the reason. Throughout all the torment at the hands of Sheamus, Jeff Hardy owns the victory in the lone singles match between the two during this feud, which was that Intercontinental matchup, that tournament match. This is a heated personal rivalry, so I cannot see it coming to an end in a simple one-on-one bout. I think Sheamus gets the win back on Sunday, considering that Hardy's gotten over him, especially tonight. And with Extreme Rules tentatively scheduled as the next pay-per-view on the calendar next month, I think there will be some sort of gimmick match, and then I see Jeff Hardy emerging victorious. But for right now, I got to go the lone wolf route here. I'm going with Sheamus to win this match. Nothing more to say, MF. Let's move on.
All right. Wow. Anthony Florio Lone Wolfie on us. Okay. So with that said, we're gonna go into the Raw Women's Title match. Asuka goes 1-on-1 with Nia Jax. Dee Woodson, you lead off.
Yeah, I think Asuka's going to retain it. I mean, she hasn't really had much of a chance to defend it yet, so to me, it just seems like it'd be too early to pull it off of her and put it on Jax. So there's not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
I totally agree with what you just said, Dee Woodson, because if it wasn't for Nia Jax getting involved, who knows? I think Asuka probably beat Charlotte Flair and get that monumental win back. Two, she has definitely been on the rise since winning. Well, even before winning the Raw Women's Title, obviously based off winning Money in the Bank and not knowing that the Raw Women's Title was inside the briefcase. But Asuka is definitely looking like the Asuka of old. She's looking like the Asuka that was the most dominating champion in not only in NXT but in SmackDown history. She's becoming one of those. She's becoming that indestructible dominant champion again. Is that gonna continue? I say yes. Winner and still women's champion Asuka. Anthony, it's yours.
Yes, indeed. WWE made the right decision transitioning the Raw Women's Championship from Becky Lynch to Asuka via Money in the Bank. And there's little argument that Asuka has been the MVP of this pandemic era. With Nia Jax getting in Asuka's head twice via distraction on Raw over the last couple of weeks, one would believe Asuka will get over on her threatening competition with a clean win at Backlash. We have not seen the green mist from Asuka, as she exclusively used it when playing a heel, but it could be used as a device to get Asuka the win and allow Jax not to be beaten too severely, as WWE still tries to pose her as a threat in the Raw Women's division. But like I said on Ridiculously Raw Monday night, I do believe that Asuka will get by this match here, but you got to believe the Queen is going to be waiting in the weeds. And if they're smart, I say you pull the trigger on that Raw Women's Title match at SummerSlam. That's a SummerSlam worthy match right there. And then you do that, and then you finally give Asuka the win she should have had a long time ago. Heck, she should have won it this past Monday night, honestly. But unfortunately, they had to bring Jackson, and Michael Bullock was the one who pointed that out during our Raw chat Monday night. He said, "I got a bad feeling that Nia Jackson's going to get involved," and unfortunately, he was right. So, but anyways, I agree with MF wholeheartedly here. Winner and still Raw Women's Champion, Asuka. As we all know, not only has she been dominant in her matches, MF, but let's not forget how entertaining she's been as well.
Oh, yeah.
With the funny Japanese gibberish that I've been loving so much for the last several months. So.
I think one of the more funnier moments we had was on Monday night. She was going with her funny Japanese gibberish, and I remember Charlotte Flair. Yeah, what she said.
Yeah. That was good.
That was good.
And when she was bouncing around like Tigger when she was awarded the Raw Women's Championship. Especially when she stood up on the stage announce table, which was amazing. But anyways, winner and still the Raw Women's Champion. It's Asuka. Nothing more to say. Bullock, 3 for 3, or 2 for 2 rather, or unanimous rather.
Yeah, unanimous. I was just going to say that. Yeah, I'm going to go with Asuka as well to retain the Raw Women's Championship. I mean, you guys pretty much touched on everything, so let's move on, Fletch.
All right, and we will indeed. We're going to the Universal Championship 2-on-1 handicap. The Miz and Morrison versus Braun Strowman. I got it. This is an easy call for me. Braun Strowman should successfully defend the title. I would keep an eye on Otis just in case for Money in the Bank, but I think Strowman will successfully defend the Universal title. Anthony, go.
Agreed, MF. A showdown with The Fiend is inevitable on the heels of the champ's victory over Bray Wyatt, Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt, last month at Money in the Bank. But it seems that's being reserved for another date and time, presumably SummerSlam. So here we are. After a few weeks of some very non-entertaining build, which included WWE returning to the well of having Strowman flip over a vehicle, he will be tasked with fending off not one but two challengers in the former multi-time tag team champions in order to retain his title. He will do just that, as again, a clash with The Fiend awaits in the near future, mainly in the SummerSlam. So, nothing more to say. Winner and still the Universal Champion, the monster among men, Braun Strowman. Michael Bullock, if you agree, give me a roar.
Roar! 100% agree. Winner and still Universal Champion, the monster among men, Braun Strowman. There's nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
It's unanimous, so let's go on.
All right, and we go from the SmackDown title, big title fight, to the Raw big title match. The WWE title on the line. The champion, Drew McIntyre, puts the belt on the line against Bobby Lashley. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
Out of all the matches on this card, this is the toughest one for me to call. It really is. Reason I say that is because I've read some dirt sheets saying that there are rumors going around that WWE is considering putting the title on Bobby Lashley. Now, here's an interesting stat here, folks. Did you guys know that 4 years ago tonight, June 12th, 2016, it was the TNA Impact Slammiversary pay-per-view event of 2016. The main event of that show, Bobby Lashley versus Drew Galloway for the TNA Heavyweight Championship. And what happened? Drew McIntyre was the champion. Lashley was the challenger. And what happened? We crowned a new champion. Bobby Lashley made Drew McIntyre pass out. So, and he could do it again with that full Nelson. We've seen how devastating that full Nelson has been over the last several weeks on Monday nights. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm worried. It's the most worried I've been since that since that trifle unnecessary title defense against the Big Show. I got a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach. But considering that I am not giving up on Drew McIntyre, I mean, I pushed hard for him ever since he won the Royal Rumble match. But I'll say this, though. Bobby Lashley has been a good foil for McIntyre, and this feud has the legs to go beyond Backlash. That said, the title is not moving from McIntyre's waist anytime soon, regardless of what the dirt sheets say. Even facing the odds of Lashley with MVP in his corner, McIntyre's championship reign is safe for the time being. Claymores will be served up, and the title will remain with McIntyre. So I am going to go with my gut. My gut tells me the winner and still the WWE champion is Drew McIntyre. But if, God forbid, they put the title on Lashley, I honestly would not be surprised at all. I wouldn't. Because here's the guy who's been waiting 13 years. His last WWE championship opportunity, Great American Bash 2007 against John Cena in a losing effort. Although he gave Cena everything he could handle that night in San Jose. But for right now, I'm going with Drew McIntyre to retain. But I'm not all that confident. I don't know why. So I hope I'm wrong about that. I want to be more confident about my guy Drew McIntyre, my frontline soldier. So that's all I can say. So I'm going to say McIntyre barely escapes, but I think this feud is far from over. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a gimmick match at Extreme Rules. Wouldn't surprise me. So, and it's also because of the fact that that there's rumors of that WWE is considering pulling the trigger on that long rumored Bobby Lashley Brock Lesnar feud. So that's something to think about. I don't have a problem with those two feuding, but I would prefer it just be a one-on-one, a singles feud, and not one with the title. They don't need the title. Even though I would kind of like to see Lashley get the title, honestly, because he's never held that title. So, but I got a feeling they might give McIntyre the win back from 4 years ago, even though it was an entirely different company. So Lashley did it once. He could do it again, but I don't think he will. So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, I mean, we talked about this during our Raw chat Monday night. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried that Lashley could win the title here, even though I think Drew's going to win.
Well, I'm not worried about it. I mean, I know Drew McIntyre. I mean, he's worked so hard to become WWE champion. I just don't see how WWE can take the title off of him this soon. So, I mean, Lashley will give him a good fight, no doubt about it. But in the end, it's going to be a trip to Claymore City for Bobby Lashley. So winner and still WWE champion Drew McIntyre. D.D. Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be Drew McIntyre. So, Fletch is yours.
You know what? I'm going to say this here. I'm with Florio. McIntyre wins, but I would not be stunned if Bobby Lashley walks out with the belt. I mean, he definitely is worthy of the title. I think what they've been doing with him has been great. I love the fact of how MVP got in his ear and talked about how, you know, how long has it been since you've been a champion? And how long has it been that you fought for the title? You deserve this opportunity. You deserve this moment. Quite frankly, I honestly thought I thought he was gonna jump to Smackdown and try to go after the Universal title. I honestly thought that was gonna happen at one point. That Lashley was gonna head to the Blue brand and go after the Universal title. But obviously they want him to go after the WWE title. Right now, I'm very high on Drew McIntyre. I think he's the most worthy guy and the most worthy champion. It kind of has a feel of like what Kofi Kingston did 1 year ago when Kofi won the title at WrestleMania. And he had a very good run as champion. I think McIntyre deserves that, and I think he deserves this moment. Winner and still Universal Champion, or I should say still WWE Champion, the Scottish psychopath Drew McIntyre. Main event, one-on-one match, Randy Orton versus Edge. Michael Bullock, you lead off.
Boy, this is a tough one to call. I mean, Edge obviously got the win at WrestleMania. I mean, the build, obviously, it's been personal. Obviously, the verbal jabs that's been going on between these two. Ugh. You know what? I'm going to have to reluctantly go with Randy Orton to win this because I think they want him to get the win back after losing at WrestleMania. But I would not be shocked if Edge comes out once again the victor over Randy Orton. So reluctantly, I'm going to go with Randy Orton, but I would not be surprised if Edge wins. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
I'm actually going to reverse that. I'm going to go with Edge, but I wouldn't be surprised if Orton wins. So it's yours, Fletch.
I think this is going to be one of the cases where Randy Orton gets the win back. I think they're not done with this Orton versus Edge. I think it's going to end up being a trilogy. Edge won the first fight. We thought that was going to be the end. It's not. Orton and Edge goes at it again. Randy Orton beats Edge, and I think they do a trilogy. I think either you end it at Extreme Rules or you let them fight one more time at SummerSlam, and then that's the blow-off. But I think Orton gets the win back. That's going to make it 1-1 in this new rivalry, and I think they got to go one more time before they truly blow this one off. So winner is Randy Orton for me. Anthony, it's yours.
I agree. Most fans thought this feud was a one-time thing that was going to end at WrestleMania in that incredible last man standing match. Yet here we are a couple months later with Edge and Orton squaring off again in a match with a tagline that has a ton of wrestling fans, including us, shaking their heads in disbelief. Not only that the two can live up to the billing, but that WWE even chose it in the first place. Simply put, it feels like the Edge-Orton rematch was scheduled for a Saudi show itself rather than their match. Nevertheless, here we are with Edge and Orton fighting in a normal wrestling match, which is normally how you start a feud rather than finish one of this magnitude. And that's why I agree with everybody that the feud will not end here. Ultimately, Edge will have to come out on top as he continues his return year in WWE. But Orton will win on Sunday night, giving Edge something to think about and work towards before a rubber match is set. Possibly, once again, theme of the night in the SummerSlam. So that's 3 matches that we've teased for SummerSlam this evening. So there's nothing more to say. The winner of this match, I 100% agree. I'll make it unanimous. It is the Viper, Randy Orton, in a match that you would have to imagine this has to be the main event of the pay-per-view, considering no match has had more hype and build than this one has. And it's also been far and away the most entertaining build of all. So Randy Orton gets the win here. There's nothing more to say except MF, let's put a bow on this night.
All right, and we will indeed do that. So on Sunday night, after Backlash is over, which could be around 9:30, 10 o'clock-ish, we don't know for sure, you come on back here and we will recap it. Myself, Anthony Floyo, Michael Bullock, and Dee Woodson will recap Backlash, and we will do that. And then Monday night is another edition of Ridiculously Raw with Anthony Florio, as we will have Monday Night Raw, Tony's Take, 205 Live, and Impact Wrestling. And if you did not hear about Impact Wrestling, folks, we got ourselves a bomb loaded.
Big announcement for me, baby.
Oh my goodness. The Impact Wrestling World Title, that was very, that even put, not many times have I ever been speechless. Not many times have I ever had my eyebrow raised. Both of that actually did for Impact Wrestling. Good job, guys. You actually piqued my interest for once with Impact. Very rare you pull it, but you did. So with that said, we'll see you guys on Sunday night. For Anthony Floyo, for Michael Bullock, for Didi Woodson, I'm Michael Fletcher. So long, everybody, and we'll see you on Sunday. Goodbye for now.